Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia Leigh. I'm an indie author and full-time freelance editor, and today is April 1st, the first day of Camp NaNoWriMo. Now, if you didn't see it would either be my previous video or two videos before this, because I'm not sure when this one's coming out, but it was my Pistol Daisy reading vlog / my Camp Nano plans. I recently reread Pistol Daisy in preparation for working on Whiskey City, and after reading Pistol Daisy I realized, oh my gosh, Camp Nano is right around the corner, and I decided to participate. So I am participating in Camp Nano this month, but I have different goals than you might expect from a Camp Nano. So instead of a word count goal or an hours goal or anything like that, I have 4 distinct goals in order to kind of get back on track with my Pistol Daisy series and get back to work on Whiskey City. So my 4 goals for Camp NaNoWriMo are to update Pistol Daisy. When I read through this, I just did like a little proofread and I marked up some pages in here, so I want to go ahead and update it. Reread my current Whiskey City draft, which is what I'm going to get started on today. Today's Friday, and it is, what time is it, honey?
4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock. I have finished up my work for the day, so I am going to start reading Whiskey City. The third goal is to edit and complete my Whiskey City outline. I haven't looked at that in a very long time, but I know I was working really hard on it and I had a lot in that outline. So I'm going to reread Whiskey City, and then I can get back to the outline, edit it, finish it, etc. And then maybe my 4th and final goal is to start draft 4 of Whiskey City, but we will see if I read quickly enough and get the outline edited and finished quickly enough. What I think is going to take the longest is finishing the outline, because I know that when I was previously working on the outline, I was going really in depth, and it was taking a very long time. It wasn't something that I could just sit down and plot in a weekend, if that makes sense. So we are going to pull up Whiskey City, and I'm going to start reading it. I have not read anything from that draft since, I think, September of 2020. So it has been over a year since I have even opened that document. So I think I'm going to be in for a surprise. While I'm reading, I will probably have the outline pulled up, and I like to leave notes to myself now using Microsoft Word, like the little comment function. So while I'm reading, if I have an idea or I come across something that I might want to fix, I could just put that in a little comment bubble instead of feeling like I have to, go into my outline and rearrange it and put in the idea, or, without feeling like I have to make changes right there while I'm trying to read. So I'm going to do a quick read through, and yeah, let's see how long it takes me to get through this current draft of Whiskey City. Okay, so I just started, and I am very surprised by the length of the 3rd draft. Pistol Daisy, I want to say Pistol Daisy is like 39,000 words. So I was expecting Whiskey City to be around 40 or 50,000 words, but it is currently sitting at almost 64,000 words. So I am really surprised by that. I did not remember the draft being this long when I was working on it, so that's kind of exciting. I'm on page 8, and Daisy has already made me smile. I can really feel that when I was working on this, I was putting a lot of heart into it. This is, in my head, this book feels very unpolished because I don't remember what I was doing, and I just know that I was, putting a lot of work into the outline. But reading it now, I can tell that this is not a first draft, and this is something that has certainly been worked with and revised multiple times. So it's off to a good start. I'm about 15 minutes in, 8 pages in, and we're just gonna keep reading. Okay, update time. It is 4:45. I'm on page 26, and I already found like a character development problem, and I already know how to fix it. So I'm excited about this for a couple reasons. The first is that I edit full time now for clients, and in doing so, I read books 5 days a week. It's essentially my full-time job, just to read and pull apart stories and understand how other people, tell their stories, develop their characters, weave their plots. And by spending all this time doing that, I am much better now at catching things, not just like, you know, copy editing stuff. Like, I have been catching that and doing a little bit, but I'm really trying to not do that. That's way down the line. I'm better at catching plot things, character development things, show versus tell, all of that really good stuff. And there was already a scene where this won't give much away, but essentially Daisy has the opportunity to get information out of a character, important information for her journey. And this character says no, and Daisy is pretty much like, okay, I can't get information out of you. And reading that, I just knew immediately that is not Daisy. Like, if she wants information out of somebody and they say no, she's going to keep pushing until she gets that information or until some sort of violence ensues. That's just the type of character she is. So just reading that, I was immediately able to say, no, this is not like her. It doesn't make sense for who this person is. And I put a little note off to the side using the comment function on Word with an idea for how to solve that problem. And it actually works really well because not only will it solve that problem, but it will also help drive Daisy on her journey. And already she goes on that journey in this draft, but she needs a stronger reason to continue down that path, and I can give her that as well. So that is super exciting. It felt good being able to catch that little character development issue right away. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 26 of 224. So Greg just finished up his work for the day. He worked really hard this week. He just finished up another format. We are probably going to head into town now, grab a 6-pack of beer. It's supposed to be a pretty nice weekend, so it'll be nice to like sit on the porch, have a beer, hang out with the horses, read Whiskey City. It's gonna be a nice weekend, and I'm gonna take you along with me. So I am gonna get back to reading. Hello friends, welcome back. Today is Camp NaNoWriMo day 3. I did not do anything yesterday on Saturday the 2nd. Today is Sunday the 3rd. And my plan is to start by updating Pistol Daisy and putting in my proofreading corrections. And then I think what I'm gonna do is give Greg that Word file, and I think he might do some fun formatting. I mean, of course, we'll still have like the illustrations on, you know, I think there's like 5 or 6 illustrations on some of these chapter headers, but he's going to change up the page numbers, going to change up the scene breaks, definitely update the ebook, you know, just make some fun like formatting changes to it when he has time. He is so busy right now, but so there's no rush on that, but I do think it would be fun to just kind of update Pistol Daisy before Whiskey City comes out sometime, hopefully, maybe. So I'm gonna do that. Yesterday was an absolutely gorgeous day here. It was like 55 degrees out, beautiful. We spent time outside with the horses. I am filming a weekend vlog for my second channel, my lifestyle channel. So if you are interested in more of like the behind the scenes, what we just kind of do day to day, make sure to subscribe to that channel. It's called Love Natalia. I will link it down below. But we built a garden box yesterday because I want to start gardening this year. We did some hoof treatments on the horses, cleaned the water trough. I made nachos last night, so it was fun. And now today, it is supposed to start raining like any time now, and it's supposed to transition into snow, mostly snow, and it's supposed to snow until tomorrow morning. So the beautiful weather yesterday is gone, the snow is back, but it's still supposed to be pretty warm this week for this area, like 40s and 50s, so I don't think the snow will stick around long. It's gonna be like a spring snowstorm, but it's the perfect day to work. I have my fairy lights on back there. So let's go ahead and dive in, get Pistol Daisy updated. It won't take me too long, very easy little proofreading things to do. And then after that, I can get started on my Whiskey City read through. Hi, Sasha. It's 12:15 and I've just been working on my proofreading corrections. I'm on chapter 9, page 55, so I'm just under halfway through making my changes in Pistol Daisy. And I am taking a little break from that, and I think I'm gonna start reading Whiskey City. I've been thinking about Whiskey City a lot lately, and you know, by a lot I mean it's actually in my mind every day. This didn't used to be the case. And you know, this morning I had a little bit of an epiphany, so I came in here and I wrote a little note to myself. The other day while I was reading, I realized that the whole like Act 1 of Whiskey City could be revised, and probably needs to be revised in order to be authentic to who Daisy is, and I already talked about that, so I'm sure you already heard that. But I think I'm gonna go and maybe make a bite to eat. It's already snowing outside. It's a very spring snow though, because it's like warm and it's kind of melting as it's hitting the ground and it's just wet. But yeah, it's a cozy day. I think I'm gonna go make some lunch, and then I'm gonna come back in here and start reading Whiskey City. Okay friends, I am back. I've been working for a while. It's like 2:30 now, and boy do I have a lot to report on. So when I last touched base with you, I was working on reading through my Whiskey City draft, my third draft, right? And then I discovered, and I had just forgotten about this, I discovered that I only wrote like the first couple beats of Act 2. Like that's how far I got into my third draft of Whiskey City. So I'm not even done with the third draft. I'm more like sitting at a 2.3 draft or something like that. So I'm not even done with the third draft, but also I've discovered that what I'm reading and what I have outlined for the novel are different. So this little hair right here is driving me freaking crazy. So I decided to keep on reading, right? So I was reading into the second draft and I realized, okay, this is almost all different from what I currently have planned in the outline, because what happened, I wrote draft 1, I pantsed a lot of it, it didn't work. I rewrote it, so I had draft 2. I knew it wasn't working. So I went back to the outline and I spent so much time on that outline, and then I started rewriting it, and that was what was becoming draft 3. So the fact that I never finished draft 3 means the majority of everything in that outline does not yet exist in the story or in the story world. So that was the first thing I discovered. And that one isn't too surprising. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that I had only pretty much the first act and a couple beats of the third draft written. But the other thing that surprised me is this whole time in my head, I've been thinking, I don't have enough. Like, I do not have enough ideas for this book. I don't have enough content for this book. I need more, right? In order to like make it a full book. But now that I'm looking over the outline, I actually think it's the complete opposite problem. I think I have so much content, so much information, so many plot threads that are being pulled on. For example, many reviewers of Pistol Daisy wanted to know more about the group of people that Daisy finds herself living and traveling with. And I always knew and wanted and planned to expand on these people. You know, how they got to where they're at, why are they important, why are they here, why does Daisy need them in her story and to tell her story. So I always knew this, and the reviewers know it also. Like, okay, we've been introduced to these people, now I want to know them more. I want this to be expanded upon. So looking at what I currently have in my outline for draft 2, I feel like it's too much almost, because I'm introducing a lot of new stuff, new characters, action, new ideas, and I feel like I might need to reel it in a little bit, either that or separate this into 2 books, because there's just so much going on right now in the Whiskey City outline that I don't think there's enough space and time to really develop the plot threads that I want to develop, to further develop the side characters. Like when you get too many things, too many plates spinning at once, you can't really focus and home in on just one or two. Now, I don't really know what this means. Again, this, you know, I'm just starting to reacquaint myself with the story and with my ideas. In a way, it's disheartening because I've already spent a lot of time on Whiskey City, but then also in a way it's exciting because I feel like I just realized that I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of content, and now I just have to kind of sift through that and find what's most important and what I really want to focus on for book 2, and then decide on, you know, what could go into book 3. So at this point, I'm not really sure the best way to proceed forward because, again, the outline I have written is completely different from the draft that I have written. So I don't know if it's a good idea to even keep reading the draft because it's like, is this a good use of time? Or should I just reread my outline and then start rebuilding my outline and kind of start from there? Because the fact that the majority of the book, probably like 45,000 words, is only draft 2. Like I never even wrote draft 3, so I've always known that I'm gonna have to completely rewrite that. So right now, I think what I'm gonna do is go back to basics as much as possible. I think I might reread my outline, pull from that outline the most important things, like the things that I feel really need to be touched upon and developed in book 2, put those into a document and start from there. And I don't know, I guess I will just see where I go. I have never published a series, I have never written a sequel, so this is very much new territory for me. I'm treading in unknown waters, and I just have to figure out what my process is and how I'm going to do this. But yeah, I feel like that was a pretty big update. I wanted to let you know. I still haven't had any lunch. I did have a snack, but now both Greg and I are hungry. He just came in from putting blankets on the horses because it's getting cold and it's been snowing for hours now. But yeah, so I'm gonna have some lunch and probably start reading through the outline. So we're gonna probably switch up my plan here a little bit. Hello my friends, happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, April 7th. It is the last day of the first full week of Camp NaNoWriMo, and I wanted to check in, let you know how it's going. It's 6:30, I just finished my work for the day. It was a little bit of a long work day, but I wanted to hop on here and update you, maybe even work on some Whiskey City stuff. So let me grab my paperwork. All right, so I busted this out again. By the way, I got new glasses. Before we dive into my update, I got new glasses. They just came in today. I got these from Firmoo. If you are somebody who wears glasses or, you know, wants to just get like blue light blockers, even if you don't have a prescription, I highly recommend them. I always have them linked down below because I've been buying glasses from them for years, but I got these glasses that I think are 40% blue light blocking. I mentioned in my new office setup video that my office setup video and a vlog, I think, that my eyes have been getting worse and I've been having a lot of problems with eye fatigue, eye strain, headaches because I work at the computer for so many hours every day, and it's been getting better now that I have this eye care monitor. But these glasses just came in. They're 40% blue light blocking, so you can probably see a lot of like blue light as I turn my head into the window. And I love them so much. So do yourself a favor, if you work in front of the computer a lot and you don't have blue light blockers, I highly recommend you get them. They have like totally changed my ability to work for long hours. They help Greg with his headaches. So yeah, I did get new glasses today. I like them a lot. Anyway, so I busted out my Save the Cat Writes a Novel book again. I thought I was well past this point, but as I mentioned, I think the last time I caught up with you, I was under the impression for a long time, like over a year, that I didn't have enough content for Whiskey City. I was really convinced that I was just kind of like grasping at straws and Daisy wasn't doing anything. And then I read through my outline and it was the complete opposite problem. She was doing so many things and there was so much going on that I really didn't have the ability to focus and fully flesh out every single plot point that was being introduced. So upon realizing that, I decided to go back to the drawing board with my Whiskey City outline, which is a lot of fun after you've already written 2.5 drafts of a 60,000 word book. So this is the original Whiskey City outline and a beat sheet. So this is the original Whiskey City outline. This is, I don't know, it's like 7 or 8 pages. And what I did, I printed this out and I went through it and I started underlining and like circling things that I felt were really important for Whiskey City. For example, further developing our cast of side characters. I introduce a large cast of side characters in Pistol Daisy, but it's such a short and quick book that none of those side characters really had enough screen time for the reader to get to know them and understand them and why they're present in the story. So I really want to fully flesh out a few of our side characters. There are too many side characters to fully flesh out, I feel, in one book, but over the series, I think they will all get their time in the spotlight. But there are at least 2 or 3 characters, side characters, that I really want to focus on in this draft. So I circled a lot of that stuff. You know, I made some notes about like, what does Daisy want? What is she trying to achieve in this book? Again, this is the first series that I'm writing, so I'm having to kind of figure out how to pace not only a series, but then each individual book within that series. And I have watched all the tutorials, I have read all the blog posts, and I really think it's just gonna come down to doing it. You can watch as many YouTube videos as you want and they're gonna be helpful, but at the end of the day, you have to sit down and you have to write it and you have to figure out how it works. So that's kind of where I'm at. And actually, something else to touch base on, I've already been talking for 5 minutes, is that now that I feel like I'm having to slow down and rewind all of the stuff that was happening in Whiskey City, this might end up being 5 books. I'm not for sure because I am kind of discovering it as I go along, but I feel like this Whiskey City now that I'm planning is kind of going to be like between Pistol Daisy and the Whiskey City I was originally planning. It's like a Pistol Daisy 0.5, like book 1.5. It's really going to be book 2, but you understand what I mean there. So I had that. What I did last night, which you would have already seen, or you're seeing it right now as I'm speaking, is I went through and I wrote a new outline. And I wrote, I have opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, debate, break into 2, B story, fun and games, midpoint, bad guys close in, and all is lost. So I don't have every single plot point, but some of them, you know, upon reading, when you like refer back to Save the Cat, and there are lots of different ways to outline. I have an outlining video if you're interested, I'll link it down below. There are lots of different ways to outline, but I like using the Save the Cat method, at least as a jumping off point. Some of the beats didn't feel like they totally fit in this book, maybe because it's a series, maybe I just haven't fully developed the idea yet, who knows. But what I'm going to do is take the outline I wrote last night, I'm going to type it up on the computer so I have it, and it's always, I find it easier to, like, once I have ideas, I can flesh them out faster on a computer because I can type faster and I don't have to handwrite everything. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to transfer this new outline into Microsoft Word, and then I will probably check back in with you and wrap up week 1 of Camp NaNoWriMo. Okay, so I transferred my handwritten outline into a Word document and I have already added to it. And I feel like this could be the right path for Whiskey City. I do feel like by backing it up a little bit and zooming in on everything that's happening and zooming in on the characters and paying a bit more attention to that and like the details of things, instead of throwing too much action and too many characters and just too much at the story, I think I'll be able to tell a more, I don't know, heartwarming / heart-wrenching story and hopefully get readers more invested in Daisy and everything that she's going through. You know, instead of her just like doing a billion different things in her quest to hunt down the man who killed her family. So at this point, with my Camp Nano stuff, at the end of week 1, I have not finished updating Pistol Daisy yet. I still need to finish that. Reread current Whiskey City draft. Well, I need a pen now. My desk gets very messy by the end of the week, like after a long work week. So I'm gonna go ahead and check off that I reread my current Whiskey City draft because it was only draft like 2.25 or something, and I reread everything of the 3rd draft, and then when I hit the 2nd draft content, I just knew that it wasn't even worth it at that point because so much needed to change. Edit and complete Whiskey City outline is next. That's what I'm focusing on, and then start draft 4. And I'm calling it draft 4, but it would kind of be draft 1 because at this point I'm essentially starting over, which is pretty consistent for me nowadays. So edit and complete Whiskey City outline, that's what I'm really going to be focusing on for Camp Nano week 2 and probably 3 as well. And then hopefully week 4 of Camp Nano, maybe I'll be able to start draft 4. That would be pretty cool. So as of now, this is where I'm at. This is the end of week 1 of Camp Nano. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you are participating in Camp Nano, what your goals are, and how you're doing so far. Okay, I will see you next in a writing tips video. I have one of those coming out very soon, and then in a week 2 Camp Nano vlog. All right, bye everybody.